you, our masterclass is coming up in June, and we're going to be talking about sacred sexuality and the teachings of Goddess Isis. And I'm doing a master series of a 12-month series, 4 different segments of this masterclass. And they're going to be in 4 different parts where it's a very deep topic on each 4, which is a quarter each. And we're following the Celtic Wheel of the Year. And so this is coming up on the summer solstice. I think Jojen is back. So hello.
Yes, hopefully, if everybody can hear me. I'm on your end. Is everything clear and okay?
Yes.
Beautiful. Awesome. Yay. So where I left off was probably around just being young and being very taboo and discovering all this new stuff, opening Pandora's box to spirituality, and then developing psychic gifts. And already being previously sensitive, I was sensitive to the other side, to those who have crossed over past in this life, moved on to the next. And I was starting to give readings without knowing that's what I was doing. And then I started watching a show called Long Island Medium on TLC. And I was realizing, oh, hey, I'm doing what that lady's doing. I'm giving readings and I'm like helping people heal. Wait, I want to do that. That's really cool. Nobody told me that was an option. Nobody said that was a thing. So I'm going to go do that. And I started down this just really deep path of discovering what it meant to be a spirit in a human body, what it means to have psychic gifts, what it means to serve other people with those gifts, and how healing really works on a spiritual level besides what people use with talk therapy and just kind of the grit and bear it mindset of the modern society that we live in. And there was a whole new way of life that was opened up for me. There was a whole new way of life in which I could connect with other people in life. There was a whole new path. There was multiple paths for me to choose from at that. And I've just kind of been stumbling into that ever since. And it snowballed, it got bigger. And when I was in high school, I started discovering tarot and oracle cards, and I started giving those kinds of readings. And then I started charging money for them after I dropped out of college. And all of this led into me developing a business with this and working in a metaphysical shop for a little over a year and being financially stable enough to then pursue my business and take it independent and stand on my own for a little while, which is a huge blessing. And at the same time, you face adversity with that too, and you spiritually advance and you grow and you have more experiences. You do healing work on people, you learn healing modalities, you experience with other teachers and healers in your community, and you become more of yourself as you really step into this field. And I feel like that's really more of my story, is just the mirror of everybody else, but in a grand cosmic way that aligns to my purpose specifically. We're all just a mirror of each other, bringing each other back home. I'm not anything specifically special. I just happen to resonate with some people in comparison to others to help get the message across in a different way.
Yes, well, that's so humble of you. But, I feel that this is really, our connection is such a resonance in so many ways, and you're such a mirror to me. And I know that a lot of people in my audience will have a lot of deep resonance with the things that you share as well. So I'd love to, with no further ado, just jump into a little bit about what's going on in the cosmos. Like,
sure.
What is going on since we've passed this eclipse portal? We are in this new energy. And what's happening, Jojen? What are we looking at astrologically?
Right. I'm sure a lot of us are kind of looking around, shaking our heads, like steam puffing out of our ears. What the fuck is going on type feeling. So where do we even begin with this? Because we can go on an individual level, we can go to a collective level, we can go to a spiritual level, a mundane level, an emotional level. So let's just take it from the most basic approach that we can take it from, is from the general overall consensus of just what spirit has us perceiving here as what we see as the sky, the cosmos, the map of the blueprint of the compass that we see moving around in our sky all the time. So currently we have Aries season happening, which is basic. This is the most basic thing that astrology has is the sun sign season. Everybody's going to know where we're at because, oh, if you're born during this month, from this time to this time, you're an Aries. From this time to this time, you're a Taurus, so on and so forth throughout the signs. So this is going to be the most general, broad perspective we can have. Right now, the sun, which rules the ego, our sense of awareness, the light that we shine upon, conscious awareness of ourselves and other people in this world, the way that we shine our light out, that is in the sign of Aries. This isn't the sign of the child. This is the sign of the leader. This is the sign of the warrior. This is also the very first sign in the zodiac. This is the birth from the great womb of the divine great mother. This is the beginning of all. This is the spark of creation. This is a fire sign. It is not a water sign of just slowly flowing into the world and watching it happen. This is action. This is happening now. This is fire, and it is the only element within our pentacle wheel that requires something be destroyed in order for the element to exist. So something had to be destroyed, whether that was the previous perception of mother's identity as maiden or self or individual or autonomous, now is responsible, provider, nurturer, mother. There's a transformation of role. There's a sacrifice of something in order to receive new life, to give anything into existence. So with Aries season, this is also ruled by the planet Mars, the planet of war, aggression, destruction, masculine energy, action, logic, thinking, the mind. It's not just like mercurial thought, mind, higher consciousness, spiritual, divine, esoteric wisdom. This is integrated thought. This is action based on instinct. This is very primal. This is also the ruler of our sexuality. So this is the pure instinct of pure birth, of pure creation. This is the time where we're all feeling super raw. We're feeling like our soul self. We feel like we just got thrust into a brand new world from the great comfort of the cosmic womb and loving support that we were having all throughout Pisces season. The end.
Yes, that is so true. And it's even more intense now through this eclipse portal. So how does that relate now? Like, I mean, we've been through so many Aries seasons in our life, however many solar returns we've had, but why is it more intense now? Like, why does it seem like everything is ramping up and amping up?
Right. So with eclipses, what happens with this is the sun, the sense of, like we talked about earlier, the sense of ego consciousness, our self-awareness, our ability to have identity or perceive or show up in the world and perceive others in the world. This is in the same exact spot as the moon, which represents our subconscious, the things that happen in the dark, because the moon goes through phases of where you can and cannot see all of it or parts of it, or this angle, you can't look at me this way. This is all I'm going to show you with the light today. This is my phase today. This is all you get. You get the goddess as she is. You get pure essence rather than the conscious awareness of how to project the light into the world versus the sun. So when they're in the same spot versus opposing each other in the sky, bringing a balance, bringing a harmony, when they're together in the same sign, this causes a hyper focus of the energy to be present because it's operating on both the conscious and unconscious levels of your being. So this is accessing all of your conscious trauma, all of your unconscious trauma, all of the things that you love about yourself, all the you really don't know are your secret superpower, super sauce to loving yourself even more and being a better person. There's all information of every level of your being accessed during an eclipse because they're at the same spot and they're hyper focusing for this short amount of time. And an eclipse in a sign only happens for about a year and a half in the same sign because the moon moves in year and a half cycles through the different signs to using the lunar nodes to create eclipses. So we have the north node in Aries, which is why we're having the eclipses, the solar eclipses in Aries. The south node is in Libra, which is why we previously had that lunar eclipse portal with that full moon, lunar blood moon in Libra. So there's this balancing between. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying that makes so much sense because, you know, like once we can see it from that cosmic clock and realize like, okay, well, Aries is over here, Libra is over here, and these opposing energies right now was, you know, like you said, that lunar eclipse and then the solar eclipse, and now they're both together. Wow. No wonder why
Yes.
we're really going through it in humanity right now.
Right. And during any eclipse portal, it is going to be very, very potent. It's going to be powerful. It's going to feel a little bit destructive because there's two opposing forces that are working at the same time to try to unify your consciousness from the inside out. So you're being pulled from a polarity. You're being put in the middle of a tug of war with the cosmos every time there's an eclipse. That's why it's so intense. That's why they can be painful. And that's why they're so profound for us with change and with catalyzing great things. Sometimes there's not just change that happens. Sometimes there's an upgrade. Sometimes there's an evolution or just a zhuzhing of what is already there. Sometimes, depending on what's in your chart or what you have in your composite or your progressed charts, which we can talk about in a whole separate conversation, this can be a very potent time to really change your identity or really integrate something new. This is Aries, which rules the self, it rules identity, it rules the first house, which also rules your appearance, your sense of how you look and show up, like your face. Aries specifically rules the head. So a lot of right now, people could be like, maybe people's facial structures are changing because their bodies are aging and maturing. Some people may be getting a face tattoo. Some people may be getting piercings or body modifications. Some people might be growing out their beard. Some people might be changing their hair. Some people are just not dealing with this altogether and they don't feel like it because they're overwhelmed, and that's going to be their kind of rebellious Aries nature to this time period. Something is happening where we are getting empowered in our head space to be able to take action, because Aries is also ruled by Mars, it is the planet of action. We are getting in our heads to take the empowered action, and with Libra being the opposing energy with the lunar eclipse, we're getting rid of any sort of natures of unconscious people pleasing and need to be the neutral party all the time instead of being our radical authentic self that can catalyze change with the Martian influence of Aries. It's bringing the parts of us that we weren't aware were hindering our ability to radically and authentically take action to be our most authentic selves, that was holding us back, that we are now stepping away from and really intentionally, powerfully shifting out of. And we're being forced to by the cosmos with the eclipse.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's really, really good information. So, how can most people, that are watching are fairly aware of their own sun sign, their rising sign, their moon?
Mm-hmm.
So we're speaking to a little bit preaching to the choir. So we could talk a
Right.
little bit deeper about this, right, with some of our
Absolutely.
audiences that are joining us today because they are already informed. And so now that we are in this eclipse portal and it's everything is shifting, we're working with our minds, we're working with our head, we're working with the energy of action. And
Mm-hmm.
this eclipse seems to be much more potent because of the timeline that we're on, and also the fact that we're not going to see this type of eclipse again in our lifetime, let alone generations to come.
Right.
So how can that affect our, how, well, let me reframe it. How can we utilize this energy to launch ourselves forward into the new earth, onto the highest timeline that we can really, really match to the highest frequency of love through this energy? What's the best way to ride that wave?
Right. Well, for me personally, what's working in resonance for me most in my personal experience of my own path and journey and what I'm called to do is really utilizing my chart to work with the cosmic forces to understand myself rather than the world around me and why it's going crazy. Not that this can't line up to the outside world or my perception of it, but rather, how can I understand myself, my place, my role, my service, my soul's mission? And that's how we align to the new earth, because we're not distracted by the outside paradigm. We're not allowing the density of what is projected into this in real time, which is really delayed light space time from a scientific perspective. The sun takes 8 minutes to get that light ray to be able to have you with your eyes perceive that the sun even exists. So that is old news. That is not real time in like the way that people want to tell you in real time that it is real time. So if we can separate ourselves from the third density distraction, which is the projection of light consciousness traveling through space and time, perceivably, then we can align ourselves to our soul mission through the blueprint that we left in the tangible realm to be able to perceive tangibly. It's not utilizing just the space and time to navigate space and time. It's utilizing your frozen frame blueprint for when you showed up in the space-time continuum to navigate your alignment to your highest paradigm. It's
So that's
something
literally
that
our compass.
go ahead.
That's literally our compass, is our
Exactly.
chart.
Exactly. There's the four major angles in your chart. I call the cosmic compass in your reading. And
Yeah.
every time I give a reading, I can say, okay, so your cosmic compass is on these two axes. So right now, we can utilize this cosmic compass to navigate through the cosmos. It's not a matter of using a real compass in real time to navigate this real world. Distorted illusion of who we already are in the future, projecting into present time to perceive ourselves. In that way, we can evolve, we can learn, we can grow, we can expand. And honestly, astrology has been the biggest tool that has helped me unlock that during this modern paradigm. None of my, I'm not, and this is not to discredit any of my previous forms of self-practice or any paths that I've taken before, but I've found recently with the current paradigms and what I've been moving through personally, my meditation practices, my nervous system regulation practices, my plant medicine ceremonies haven't been as effective as they have been in the past. Maybe I've developed a personal tolerance. However, I also feel that right now humanity is moving away from the out there floaty sense of spiritual, and they're putting it like we're being forced by the cosmos into the tangible grounded action so we can actually make the real 3D change necessary to amplify the 5D experience from a consciousness standpoint. So
Yeah.
that way, whenever we go
Yeah.
to experience it again from the 3D space, it is of higher potency and of more medicinal use.
It's so true. Like, we are the medicine. And as you spoke
Yeah.
of, the practices that we had used to get here are not the practices that we're going to use to elevate us forward. We're developing
Mm-mm.
new practices every moment as we breathe into this now moment. And, like, as you're speaking to the ability to go back to the basics of, when did I enter this 3D reality, and how can I use this information to navigate? Because that is what we're here to do, is to navigate through and to find our mission and to execute our mission before we
Yeah.
leave. And the quicker and faster and smoother we can align with that mission, then it's going to really help our road to be less rocky. And we're all really, really in it right now. So many of us are going through so many things. Woo, it's just super, super intense. And so, what can we do just to remain grounded in that?
Right. To remain grounded. Well, personally for me, I'm like an 8 placement Capricorn in my chart, so that's easier for me naturally to do. And I know you're a Virgo, so you're also an earth sign. It's naturally easy for you to kind of ground, just go outside and you're kind of fine a little
Yes,
bit. There's
I'm
obviously
outside
the edge to
all the time.
the right, right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, for my water signs, my fire signs, and my air signs out there that don't do that so easily, or if you're an earth sign sun and you just have a shit ton of other energies in your chart that kind of make it challenging for you are, however you feel, my body has been touching my physical body and reminding myself that I'm receiving sensory information. I'm not just experiencing pain or happiness or whatever I'm identifying as my emotion or the sensation. It is just information at the end of the day that is
Yeah.
allowing me to perceive reality from a different lens, depending on what I align to. And so if we can ground ourselves in perspective rather than something outside of ourselves, then we
Hmm.
take our power back, because at every moment we always have the gift of perception. So if we are rooted in our perception and we are grounded there from a steadfast place, then there is nothing to be ungrounded from. You are home.
Beautiful. You are home, and your vessel is your home. And that's the message for today. With any kind of practice, tapping into your divine essence, working with your practices, whatever deities and whatever goddesses or gods you work with, whatever you connect with to bring yourself to your highest source. Ultimately, we are here in this vessel, in this body, and we are here in this present moment. And like Jojen was just touching the body and being physical with your body, sacred sexuality practices with your own tantric practice, not necessarily having to rely on a partner to have that sacred practice, connecting to source through your sexuality. And Jojen and I are going to be diving deeper into this as we go into our course. And so you can sign up for get on the email list in my bio and my link tree. So feel free to jump in there and sign up for that. And we'd love to see you in that deeper dive. But just to touch on that a little bit, just anything physical that you can do, really focusing on healthy living water, swimming, doing more yoga, doing more breath work, focusing on your nutrition, taking whole foods into your body. All of these things help us to be present in our being, in our body. And it's really, really important to be super grounded and foundational right now, because everything else is being turbulent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Absolutely.
anything else on that?
Yes. So I absolutely resonate everything that you just shared, and I 100% agree. Paying attention to how you balance to your mind, body, spirit connection through your health, your wealth, and your ability to perceive that within and of yourself. Your well-being is your ability to thrive in any given moment, and your ability to make choices that align to that frequency and that version of reality for you. So if you're practicing frequencies, choices, ways of feeling, expressing, perceiving reality that aren't aligning with that for you, there's resistance there, because there's medicine for you to learn how to transcend that. And if you can get grounded in the fact that your soul placed that there for you to be able to learn effortlessly from, despite how challenging it may be perceiving through your reality in your experience, it is not truly as challenging as your soul perceives it to be, because your soul placed it there as the creator of your sovereign reality.
Absolutely. So, in layman's terms, just honestly, it's not that big a deal. Like, we're literally giving what we signed up for.
Right.
If we're doing it. We are literally doing it. So I just want to commend each and every one of you for showing the fuck up and being present and being, available to be you. And the authenticity, I had shared this in a previous video, authenticity is actually higher resonance and the highest frequency of connection, higher than joy and higher than love, is being authentic. And so just all of us being here to support each other in this time and space, and all of us aligning with our mission to bring love as the highest frequency to this planet with your own unique gifts. And so Jojen has such amazing gifts, and I'd love for you to share. You had offered a gift for a reading, discounted reading earlier, and I'd love for you to share what that looks like for everybody if they want to get a little bit deeper into the dive and what they can receive with that.
Absolutely. So for anybody watching today, or anybody that was watching whenever you're watching the replay of this, or whenever this is entering your time space reality, I want to offer you a 33% off discount of any of my astrology readings with me. And these services span from anything from like a 15-minute little checkup on, hey, what the hell is going on in my reality, to all the way to a 2-hour report where you get a full PDF copy and you get a tangible copy if you'd like that sent to you at your request. And it's a full 2-hour coaching session of diving into that report and also answering your questions in real time of what's going on with your life, how you're perceiving your chart, your connection to yourself. So if you are interested in any of those astrological offerings on my website, you are welcome to use a discount code that we will leave in the chat after the end of this call, and you will get 33% off at checkout with any of those astrological offerings. So I'm so grateful to offer that to you, and I'm so grateful to work with you if you choose to.
Oh, thank you. And if you can go ahead and just drop your Instagram and your website and the discount code here for those that might not see the comments.
Let's see. Is we gonna? Ooh. I hope it didn't disconnect me just now.
Are we back?
Did it disconnect me?
Oh, no, you're back. Okay, so what's your website, Jojen?
My website is jojendivinity.com. It is available at the link in my Instagram and my Facebook. It is just my name and then divinity.com. Super simple, nothing too crazy out there with the names and everything. And if you would like to join my email list, you can also get 15% off any of my offerings just by joining it if you want to as well. So on top of your 33%, you can get 15% off of a separate offering, and that branches out for any offering on my website.
And then what is your Instagram?
Oops, did I disappear again?
Oh yeah, what's your Instagram handle?
Okay, my Instagram handle is jojen.divinity.
And how do you spell it?
JOGEN.DIVINITY.
Okay, perfect. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap up with that. We'll definitely be checking in with Jojen again in future episodes, as well as for our master classes coming up with our Mystery School Teachings of Goddess Isis course. You can sign up in my link tree to get on the pre-email list for that. I also have a free masterclass for you when you do sign up for that free offering. And we are so grateful to have you on, Jojen. You always are such a wealth of information. I can recommend your readings. I have had several. My beautiful beloved has had several with Jojen. The full 2-hour report is a whole ceremony in and of itself. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful coaching session, as well as a download of just so much information. And the way that Jojen puts everything together for you in a perfect PDF package is very Capricorn. Yes, it is. And it's so exciting. And it's all so freaking on point. So thank you so much for being my guest on my podcast and being my sister, brother, goddess friend, and loving the humanity the way you do and showing up. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me on today, my beloved sister. Thank you so much. You are always such a delight. It's so beautiful to co-create with you as always. And I look forward to the next time that we get to do something like this and even more. I can't wait to see what happens with this connection.
Absolutely.
I'm so excited.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. And I'll drop Jojen's information in the comments of the videos here on my main Facebook and my main Instagram for you guys. And thank you so much, Soul Tribe, for being on. So much love and so much support. Remember, I am here as your goddess mentor and your ascension guide to help you navigate. I am simply a partner for you to mirror and to show up for you so I can help you navigate through these difficult times as we really elevate our energy. And so continue showing up, continue being yourself, and we'll see you on the next one. Namaste. All right. See you next time. Bye.